pains that play over and over again in their body, in their mind, in their heart.
Once you achieve fully enlightenment, fully awakening, we always confuse, reality or what do you call them. So once you remove that kind of ignorance, then all those delusions automatically dissolve. At the same time, you visualize, you receive all those blessings and dissolve into your body and purified all those negativities. You mentioned that you are not Buddhist, but you know very well about Buddhist philosophy.
The rhythm of Walk Sacred is not performance, it is prayer. As I open this space, may my words carry peace. May this offering be received in love. May those who hear feel the stillness behind the sound and the presence behind the story. May we walk sacred in Ithaca together. We came seeking wisdom and found laughter. Here at the Namygal Monastery, we were reminded that enlightenment is not only stillness, but joy. The ease that comes when nothing else needs to be proven. In this space, sacredness wore a smile. Let your heart relax as we step once more into the Namygal Monastery, where even the silence is smiling.
I could be here all day asking so many questions. But there are two things on my mind, and these would take years to answer. So let's see what shows up for us.
Okay.
There's a new interest in the young generation in the United States, and I've been seeing it globally as well in different ways of awakening. The urban culture getting woke, What is it that calls someone to a path of enlightenment or awakening or getting woke or to be woke? Is it a wake-up call of sorts? What is your experience, or what is the belief in Buddhism?
Awakening?
Or what is the difference between awakening and enlightenment?
I think
Like I said, years.
they're similar, but according to enlightenment, of course, once you achieve fully enlightenment, you are fully awakening. You are well knowing all phenomena. And so, of course, that's one of really important subject or matter in Buddhism. When you awakening, then that means you are no longer sleep in ignorance of those delusions. You're from awakening from all those delusions or negativities.
The stories, the old stories, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, in my work, that's a big part of helping people let go of old suffering, pains that play over and over again in their body, in their mind, in their heart, and how it becomes the same story with different shapes as life goes on. So that awakening, that waking up to the delusions and helping them release that is very important for people to have. I have found to have more joy, which allows more compassion.
Sure. Because why we suffering or those difficulties, because we something don't see the reality, so we always ignore something that makes us difficulties and suffering. So when you awakening, you fully understand from the reality, real situation, then you won't be any problem.
And what is it? What's reality?
Reality is the truth of nature. So that's, we always confuse, reality or what do you call them? Appearances. Perceptions, appearances. We always running towards the appearances, but we don't see the reality. So that's make people confused.
So the three universal truths.
Yeah. If you see the truth of nature, there's no room for the develop or increase those what do you call grasping or delusions.
So the three universal truths are the truth of nature. Can you break those down for us? They are what? The three universal truths. So the nature sees everything, or everything's reciprocal. How does that help people when they break down the universal truths in the study?
Universal
The truth, yeah, the truth of what's real and what's delusion.
Oh yeah. So that's the main important main subject in Buddhist philosophy,
Right.
because the ignorance is the root of samsara. As long as you have ignorance, through ignorance, then you develop or create anger, jealousy, hatred. All those delusions come through ignorance, because only the wisdom can defeat. Wisdom is the only one that antidote for the ignorance. The wisdom only can defeat ignorance. As soon as you see the reality of the nature, that there's no longer that ignorance is there.
There's no longer the pain of it should be different.
Yes.
Maybe.
Once you eliminate, or once you remove that kind of ignorance, then all those delusions automatically dissolve.
Yes.
So then you won't be any suffering or
Do people get?
pain.
How do they get there? How do they decide, or do they not decide they want to have an awakened path or strive for enlightenment as much as possible? You have so many students that come here, they're striving for something. People, His Holiness has millions of people around the world that just want to see his smile,
Yes, sure.
his belly laugh that is so pure.
Right.
Everyone, it's easy to believe that Buddhism and philosophy and religion and talking about suffering is heavy.
Yeah.
But I find the greatest joy is the joy.
Yeah, sure.
When you hear a monk like yourself speaking, you don't hear age. When you hear His Holiness Dalai Lama laugh, it's ageless, it's timeless, it's pure.
Yes.
To me, that's what I want.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, because when the students first they come to temple or meet monks or receive teachings, of course, every our human beings we have difficulties or suffering. So we try to everybody trying to get rid of that difficulties or suffering or illness. So then they're trying to find a way to get rid of that kind of situation. So they come to receive teaching or classes. Of course, from the beginning, it's not that easy. People, some people that keep coming and gain a little bit experience. So then gradually we, masters or teachers, explain to them how can we get rid of the kind of situation permanently, So that's why there are many, even in Western country like America, in our student, there are many students who study 15, 20 years. So they says, when they look back 5, 10 years, they see the changes, how much they changes and how they become more happier than before.
And less negative thinking.
Yes.
Human beings have 30 to 50 thoughts a minute.
Sure.
The majority of those are negative.
Yeah.
So we only hear maybe 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
So they're always going.
Yeah.
And that's the trick, maybe chanting and meditating and breathing. Does that help change that?
Also, we can trick our mind by ourselves, It's always keep thinking about that negative things. So as you mentioned that we do ritual ceremonies, recite, or prostration. So you try to focus what you're doing. Then there is no room for increasing that negativities or delusions or negative thoughts.
If I have to say it right, chant it from my heart, breathe correctly, sit
Oh, yeah,
straight.
yeah.
I don't have time to think about it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's more like kids, the teachers give lots of homework.
Right.
So there is no room for play or, these things. Something like that.
So as a master with your students, do you give initiations? Do you do energy transmissions with your students?
I don't give any initiation because there's His Holiness Dalai Lama is there and all the great masters there. So they do. I'm trying to encourage students to practice and studies. That's my job. So I don't have something special power to transfer students.
Only one who's enlightened has that. Understand. Of course.
Yani de bhutani samagatani bummani vayani antalinke sambeva bhuta sumana bhavantu atopi sankancha sunantu.
Mantras, chanting.
Mm-hmm.
How does that benefit on the path to enlightenment? If enlightenment is seeing reality, no more delusions, therefore freeing one up for love and compassion and joy. How does chanting and mantras and the music, the sounds, seem such an important part of Buddhism and every...
Yeah, because in Buddhist teaching, there's two major subjects, Sutra and Tantra. In Sutra, according to Sutra, they don't mention about the reciting mantra, these things. Only, study and practice these things. So Tantra, there are lots of course, initiations or transmissions and mantra, these things. So mantra meaning that if you keep reciting mantra, that means you trying to close, with that specific deity, keep close.
Like invoking her, calling her. Or
Reciting. Yeah. At the same time, of course, if someone keeps saying your name and calling you, you have to pay attention to that person, right? So then, similarly, when we reciting Tara mantras, so then you feel so close to Tara, and at the same time, you can receive blessings from Tara. We believe that.
Of course.
Also, Tantra mentioned that if you have some small obstacles, that may purify if you recite mantra. Yeah.
So the sounds are like a bath.
Those sounds.
They're like a bath or a shower or purifying, cleaning. So the more we say it, and the more we say it, the more the body vibrates to that. Or in neuroscience, the brain makes the cells, the neurons that match that experience.
Yeah, also, Tantra explained that while you're taking a shower or whatever, you're reciting mantra, at the same time you visualize, you receive all those blessings and dissolve into your body and purified all those negativities and, get rid of your body. And then your body fulfill love, compassion, wisdom.
Because there's an automatic awakening of that seed.
Yes.
When it's not covered with weeds.
Right. You mentioned that you are not Buddhist, but you know very well about Buddhist philosophy. I guess.
That's a very big honor. Thank you. My life's work too.
Very good.
That's why this is such an honor to be able to do this show with someone of your honor.